Hi, I'm Tom Bagwell, and welcome to Hello Health, a partnership with the Ochsner Health System and Humana to bring Ochsner's Hello Health weekly education and information series to you. Today's topic, eating right, with a program called Eat Fit Nola. Our guest is one of our favorites, nutritionist and registered dietitian Molly Kimball. First, some background. Today's guest earned a Bachelor of Science degree in dietetics and a Bachelor of Science degree in food science from LSU. She completed her dietetic internship at Touro Hospital in New Orleans. That was in 1999. Molly Kimball is board certified as a specialist in sports dietetics and today serves as the nutrition program manager at Ochsner Fitness Center. You may have known it as Elmwood, now Ochsner Fitness Center. You read her nutrition column in the newspaper. You see her providing wellness tips on television. But today she's with us on Hello Health. Great to have you, as always, Molly.
Excited to be here. Thank you.
Yeah, same here. So you mentioned you have 4 dietitians working with you at the Ochsner Fitness Center now. You doing more managing these days, or are you still taking clients?
So a little bit of everything. So we have 4 dietitians who are actually at the fitness center here in New Orleans, but we have 2 others, so a total of 6 of us, because we now have a dietitian based out of Baton Rouge and Lafayette, which we'll be sharing in a bit. But a little bit of everything. I still do see clients because that is just, it's a passion, but you kind of get to where you say, it's not fair to the client if you have to keep kind of postponing or you have other projects. So there's a lot of management. We've started the project Eat Fit Nola, and we're expanding that statewide. And then there's a lot of just community projects we have going on.
So what is Eat Fit Nola, and how does it work?
So Eat Fit's a nonprofit initiative, and we started it loosely in 2012 to kind of get our feet wet and see how we were going to really run it. But we really officially started Eat Fit in 2013, so it's a nonprofit, and it's basically our approach as dietitians of working with restaurants to incorporate items on restaurant menus that are those things that we would guide our clients to order. So things that are nothing white, no white carbs, very low in animal saturated fats, very low in sugar, but we really, sodium, etc. But we really work closely with the chefs to make sure that the flavor's there. It's something they're proud to serve on their menu. And we started in 2013 with Eat Fit Nola with restaurants, but we've expanded beyond restaurants. So we have Eat Fit at places like the Superdome, the airport, the zoo, grocery stores, markets. So anywhere where you can get food or a drink or even a cocktail, we want to try to get in there and get it Eat Fit.
A quick aside. So there's a lot of research that goes into this and a lot of science, but most of us know what's healthy and what's not. You still have to overcome a lot of getting people to do the right thing.
You would be really surprised. And that was kind of why we went into this, because when you look at the menu and you look at the read of the menu, people automatically assume, okay, if it's the fish or the chicken, that's going to be my healthier options. And we'll think that too, but when we look at those dishes at the restaurant and we say, working with the chef, okay, let's get the recipes for these, we'll kind of crunch the numbers, see what we're starting with. A lot of times the nutritional stats on those chicken or fish dishes, because of the sauces or the other things with it, it's through the roof, but that beef or that pork may actually be a lot leaner. So you can't tell just by the read. It's really almost impossible. It's been shocking to us. So that's the other really cool thing, is to be able to see what's really in these things on the back end and make sure that as the consumer, you're ordering something that's truly what you hope it is.
Just for the record, there's no new research that shows fried chicken is good for you.
Don't we wish?
Yes, we do, and I keep waiting for it. So what does Eat Fit mean, Eat Fit Nola mean for the people who order it from the menu?
So the simplest way that we say it is, whether you want to just eat clean, as people say these days, look better, feel better. So if it's completely aesthetic, we're going to have you covered. If you don't want to have that sluggish feeling to where you're kind of feeling weighed down after a meal, this is going to be good. However, I always say we don't want to take it to sick town right away, but if someone has diabetes, hypertension, cholesterol, inflammatory issues, Eat Fit is a fit for those things as well, because we do limit those saturated, animal-based saturated fats, the sugars, those white carbs, those foods that are very inflammatory and really exacerbate those conditions are all really limited with Eat Fit. So again, whatever your kind of needs are that you're going in for the vast majority of those in our region, we've got you covered.
It started here in New Orleans. That makes sense. We got the best food in the world, but you're expanding the program, right?
Yes. So we have Eat Fit Nola. We've loosely dipped our toe into Eat Fit Bayou and Eat Fit North Shore. And our Eat Fit Nola dietitian, Lauren Hewlin, kind of oversees all of those areas. And then we got a grant from Blue Cross Blue Shield of Louisiana Foundation. It's a 3-year grant to expand throughout the state of Louisiana. So we are So excited about this. So we have a full-time dietitian in Baton Rouge. Emily Chauvin Stewart runs Eat Fit BR, and then Yvette Quantz has the lead on Eat Fit Acadiana and Eat Fit Southwest Louisiana.
We've got a picture of your team.
You know, I think what it is really trying to find people who are passionate about it, yet not finger wagging, because that's the thing. It's one thing to say, we want to drive this and we want to just have as much of a presence and be in as many places as possible, but we want to make sure that our team is an encouraging, supportive, loving, compassionate group, not finger wagging, not these are the things you have to do. And it's a real challenge to work with the chefs, to work with the restaurants, and have that camaraderie with them, and really finding ways that we can like collaborate with them instead of you've got to do this, you know.
So in some cases you're showing people how to cook. So you have been a demonstration of that today of some sort?
Yes, so we've got one of my favorite recipes is a blueberry cobbler. It was one of those things I didn't realize just how easy it could be. So we have an Eat Fit blueberry cobbler.
All right, so do we want to take a look at that now?
Sure.
All right, let's take a look at it.
Hi guys, we're here in my kitchen whipping up one of my favorite recipes. It's blueberry cobbler. It's my favorite for a lot of reasons. It's Eat Fit approved, it has 0 sugar added, naturally gluten-free, but here's the thing, it's so easy, less than 5 minutes prep time, and when you serve it to friends and family, they would really have no idea that it's even good for them too. And here we go, with very little time or effort, we've got this beautiful cobbler filled with these gorgeous berries. So it's Eat Fit approved, which means it makes it easy for us to eat clean, look better, and feel better.
So you brought some along for us to taste today, right?
Right. Do have some treats for you.
Yeah, we'll have to work on that. That looked terrific. I think it was easy enough, even I could do that.
It really is easy. It's one of those that you feel really proud. You know, you kind of feel like your grandmother, you like made a cobbler.
Yeah.
It's so fast.
No sugar, swerve I saw.
Right.
So what's giving it the sweet other than the swerve?
The blueberries.
A couple of things. Yeah,
so the blueberries. So Swerve is a local-based product based here out of New Orleans, and we love it because it's plant-based, it's natural, and it measures cup for cup like sugar. So we use that in there, and then almond flour, lower carb and higher protein, higher fiber, but it makes it Eat Fit. And for people who are watching their gluten, it happens to be gluten-free as well.
So where can we find Eat Fit? It's not just at the dinner table at home, right?
Right, so we've got Eat Fit in restaurants, coffee shops, grocery stores. As we said, anywhere where food or drink is sold, we have an Eat Fit smartphone app to help you find places around you. And it geolocates, which is a fancy way of saying when you pull out the smartphone app, it'll know where you are if you have your phone set to that setting, and it'll populate with what's Eat Fit around you. And then the really cool thing is when you click on the app, you'll see, okay, what restaurants are around me. You click on that restaurant and you'll see the dishes that are Eat Fit. When you click on that dish, you'll see a picture of it and the nutrition facts. So if you are interested in how many calories or carbs or sodium or whatever it is that you're looking at nutritionally, we've got that for you. On the app, we also have recipes, hundreds of Eat Fit recipes, including our cobbler. And then we have events, so wellness events around you. So lots of information packed all into one little handy app that's free.
If it can track where I am, can it track what I'm eating if I share with it what I'm eating at various restaurants?
We don't have it synced to a meal tracker app that talented like that, but I would love it if it were paired with something like a MyFitnessPal. That'd be cool.
How many times do we go to a restaurant, order something we love, and by the time we go back, we've forgotten what it was? I know that's the case for me. Tell us about the app and the role you played in putting it together. I don't think you're an app developer. There's another team of people who do that, but you want that same level of passion, I'm sure, in the technology.
So we were really fortunate. There's a company called Food Care, and Food Care, a couple of years ago, I say a couple now, maybe 5 years ago, came to us and said, hey, we want to build out an app for Eat Fit. And of course, we didn't really have much of a marketing budget because we're kind of still figuring out, what we're all about. And they said, we want to develop an app for you guys as a pilot. And so they basically did it for us pro bono, and they did it in partnership with the city of New Orleans. And so we kind of got our feet wet on what does this even look like. It was one of those things that seemed like a fake thing. It wasn't even really going to happen or come to fruition because you think, how's that ever going to work? And then you see, wow, it does. And so as we've expanded to Eat Fit BR, Eat Fit Acadiana, it didn't make as much sense to have that app centered on just NOLA. So we have it to where when you go to the App Store, you don't type in Eat Fit Nola, that takes you to the city's Fit Nola app. You want to just type in Eat Fit, and that'll bring you to our Ochsner Eat Fit app. You can connect with a health professional. It brings you to the Ochsner Find a Doctor page. All types of resources on there, and it's really photo heavy, video heavy, so a lot of interactive stuff on there. In fact, you can put today's video on there.
That would be great.
Yes.
I know you work closely with chefs and restaurants. What's that collaboration been like, and what impact have you seen on the people who actually work at the restaurants? It's a tough business.
It's been really cool. It is insanely tough on them. The hours they spend, whether it's the chef, the owner, the management team. I mean, people, it's their life, and it becomes all-consuming. And then a lot of times, they put themselves last. They put their health last. That's their last priority. And one thing that's been a really cool side benefit that going into it, I had no idea that this was going to happen, but we work so closely with the chefs that we develop close relationships with them and a level of trust with them that they may not have, they may not have another dietitian in their life. They may not know where to go to for that resource. So we naturally kind of become that built-in resource for them. And so we've had the opportunity and I'm grateful that we've been able to have it, to work closely with chefs and restaurant owners, management team, whatever, when they do have their own health challenges, that we can work really closely with them. And that's been rewarding beyond belief, and again, something I never expected out of it. And then it trickles down, so it spreads into the chefs' families, the entire restaurant staff, and it's really cool when we hear stories of successes that they've had a level of health improvement because of the changes they've made because of Eat Fit.
You've been doing something for years and years, maybe even decades. Here comes Molly Kimball saying, have you ever thought of using Swerve? Do you ever run into any kind of pushback at all from chefs, or have you found them to be open to these ideas? Or there's some things you say, okay, great, but if you do that, it doesn't fall into Eat Fit.
Well, there's a lot of things that we say, okay, let's look at, we may say, let's look at these 12 dishes. They look like they have potential. We get the recipes. If we see that we're going to have to make too many changes to that dish, or not make, but recommend too many changes to that dish, we're going to scrap it because we don't want that. We don't want to change the fabric or the integrity of a dish that is really meaningful to that restaurant. So we don't touch it, and we'll let the restaurant know we're not even going to try with those. But these, with just a couple of little changes here, they could fit Eat Fit. So I think we're really selective in what we go back to them with. And so sometimes they go, "You're crazy about that. There's no way." But I think a lot of times we've done a really good job of filtering those out already.
Our guest is Molly Kimball, nutritionist and registered dietitian, and tonight we're talking about Eat Fit and Eat Fit Nola and eating right. In addition to working with restaurants, I know there are other community partners involved. Who are they, and what role do they play?
So we have a lot, and in fact I would say a lot of our success in kind of increasing awareness has been just so many different local companies, products who really get behind us, and everywhere that they're out in the community, they'll say, "Hey, Eat Fit, do you want to come out and join us at XYZ event?" Our largest by far, though, is the Blue Cross Blue Shield of Louisiana Foundation. They believe in what we're doing, and they said, "Hey, we love what you're doing in New Orleans, and we want to take it across the state." So that's been a really cool thing, and they don't just support and like, "Hey, here's a grant," and then step away. They're, "How can we help? What are the barriers that are coming up? What are some introductions that might be at some harder to get restaurants in other regions?" So really kind of helping us as we get into these, because some of them are areas that are new to us, but they may have some contacts. So really it's a very nice collaboration to kind of help us get our feet wet in these spaces.
And these are all great ideas and good for us, but ultimately it has to pay off for people, right? It has to be financially beneficial. Obviously, with an insurance company, it makes a lot of sense. If we're healthier, that's less cost to Blue Cross Blue Shield, but all the other community partners too. If people are worried about eating out because of how bad that is for you, maybe with this, maybe they're doing more of that.
A good point, and a lot of restaurant owners see it as that. They know they have this client base that's coming in, a coffee shop, that only has pastries. Well, they're people coming in and buying a coffee and then bolting. They're not buying the food because that option's not there. So when they incorporate a few options there, they're opening it to a whole new client base as well.
So if people are watching tonight, are watching today and see this and want to get involved, where do they go?
So we have our websites, eatfitnola.com, eatfitbr.com, eatfitacadiana.com. The app, which is the Eat Fit, just all you type in your app store and that'll take you to our Ochsner Eat Fit app. That has all the information there of where to get connected. You can always reach out to us directly. We have our emails on those websites. And then to support Eat Fit, we do have our Dine Out fundraising event, which is August 22nd. And participating Eat Fit partners donate 1% of the proceeds back to the Eat Fit initiative. So while we are an Ochsner initiative and we are supported by Blue Cross in these regions, we operate as a nonprofit, and we operate very much as kind of a grassroots initiative, so any bit of that does absolutely support the work we're doing.
In a moment, we're going to take some questions from our viewers. We'll do that in just a moment. But first, I'd like to ask you about this. Whenever we have physicians on the program, I'll often ask them, who was it or what was it that got them interested in medicine? And the hope is to inspire those who will follow in their footsteps, younger people who may be watching. So for you, someone who's as passionate as you are about this, if a young person is watching at home and says, man, that sounds like a really cool job, what would you advise someone about what it takes in college, the kinds of things you'll be studying, and the career you and now this team of people you have put together are involved with?
So I do think it's really cool. It's such a blast. We have so much fun, and I would say the passion that we have has created what these things are. And so there's times when, my degree is in dietetics and I have another degree in food science. There's things that you do and you do it because you have to. Certain classes you go, man, this isn't the most fun, or certain parts of it that you think you almost get discouraged, but that's just a means to an end. But once you get on the backside of that, the opportunities are yours, but looking to see what is there and what kind of gaps can be filled, because these jobs that I have, the nutrition program at Ochsner Fitness Center wasn't there before, and I went in and was able to start that. And Eat Fit, it was kind of like seeing a need and saying, hey, I have this idea, how could we make it happen? And starting really small. So for the first 3 years of Eat Fit, it was myself and interns, but with that passion, we kind of built it and then got enough support to kind of gradually hire these others. So I would say, the different things that I do freelance, of writing for the newspaper, doing the TV segments, putting your time in and doing what you love, whether you're getting paid or paid much, but volunteering and getting involved, because when you associate and align yourself with the people who are also in that, and an opportunity opens up, they're going to look at you and say, hey, you could be a good fit for this. But if you're just waiting for the position that you're going to be paid for, that might not always work. So I did a lot of those things because I cared and I wanted to get the messaging out there, not because it was something that was part of my job or something that was a paycheck.
Good advice, which is why you're always one of our favorite guests. All right, we promised you we'd be taking some questions from our viewers today, so let's do that. Here's the first one. Eating healthy can be, let's see, which Eat Fit approved recipes would my kids like? This comes from Amber. So blueberry cobbler, I could certainly go for that. My kids would too.
Yes, the blueberry cobbler. We have things, there's one of the things that's kind of our go-to thing that is, if you haven't tried it, trust me on this. It's called chickpea pasta. The brand name of it is Banza. Now this isn't, our restaurants don't really have this. We have one market that is starting a chilled version of a pasta salad with this. But if you're at the grocery store, Costco, or any of those, look for Banza chickpea pasta, because it looks like regular pasta, but it's higher protein, higher fiber. And so for kids, you can make a mac and cheese with that actually has all the protein you would need of your meal.
Just don't tell them.
Don't tell them. That's the key. Don't tell them. But there's a lot. It depends on, we have things that are kind of like peanut butter bites or protein truffles, things that are sweets, things that are blended type shakes, things that are mac and cheese. A lot of kids may not like spinach, but they'll like it in a spinach dip. So we have a Greek yogurt-based spinach and artichoke dip that you can also serve as a creamy side dish. So different ways that we're adding maybe a creamy element or a sweet treat element to make it more palatable for those veggies if kids aren't a fan.
All right, one of my go-tos was celery with peanut butter, and then the raisins. I think it was called ants on a log or something. Does that work? I don't know if it's officially on part of the Eat Fit program, but
we don't have it in the recipes on our app. But I like that. Yes,
that's a free one for you today. Here's another question, Molly. Eating healthy can be expensive. What are some tips for eating healthy on a budget? This is from Catherine. Thanks, Catherine.
Yeah, I think that's a great question, and that is something that it can be. So I think, one, pick and choose what's worth it to spend that money on. So if it's organic free-range chicken that's $15 a pound, probably not. Red beans, black beans, white beans. Beans are some of the cheapest foods around, but they're also really high fiber, really high protein. Red beans are actually one of the highest antioxidant foods on the planet. And so there's things that are maybe not salmon, that's wild-caught salmon at $19 a pound, but you may kind of cut and go in the middle and get just your regular salmon that's going to be maybe a third of that price. Or go with our local fish. I think you said you just caught some red snapper recently. So I think there's a lot of...
And only two. That's important to note. To be official, only two. That's right. That's the limit.
So it wasn't a lot.
It was not a lot. That's right.
But that's there's a lot of different ways we can be creative, stretching things. But I would caution against stretching your food dollar with the things like pastas, rice, potatoes, because that is what we often put in things to extend and to keep it cheap. But doing that with, we could even do like the rice cauliflower these days, things to mix it up.
Okay, another question. The keto, is that right? Keto diet has been a big fad. Is it healthy, and what's the correct way to do it? This is from Paige. What do you think of the keto diet?
Paige, that's a whole nother show Tom and I will have to do. So the keto diet is a very low-carb diet, but it's also a very low-protein diet, low compared to what most people do have. The ketogenic diet was originally designed for kids with epilepsy who didn't respond well to medications, and it actually helped to control seizures. The true way to do keto is not just to go low-carb, but also low-protein as well. I don't love it for most people, and just anecdotally, a lot of the people that I've worked with or know, or just people close in my life who've tried it, and we get them on the body composition scale, we look at their muscle mass, body composition, and we track it through, their pounds may be coming down, but often they're losing a lot of muscle as well, because again, that protein is lower. One of the challenges with keto also, because you are going so low carb, is you'll hear a lot of people say, oh, I can't eat that asparagus, it's got too much carbs in it. That spinach has got too much carbs. When was asparagus or spinach really the culprit for us? But it'll have more carbs if they're having it in the other parts of their day, and it'll boost them out of ketosis. So it's not my favorite because it makes it really hard to get a lot of plant-based foods into our diets. So it's something that if someone struggles with obesity, that they have a lot of health risk associated with obesity, and this is going to maybe help them get the pounds down initially and give them that motivation. I like it maybe as that starting point and jump start, but then I would transition to something with a lot more plants and especially vegetables in it.
And that's just the diet of the day or the fad diet. Is there a general rule that Molly Kimball suggests about these fad diets? Or you know what I hear?
So what I see is that the problem, with what a lot of us tend to do is we do eat too much carbs. But maybe we don't need that pendulum to swing as far as keto. But in general, us as Americans eat way too much carbs. And we do this all day. We sit, we're at our computer, or we're driving, or we're clicking and watching TV. Yet we're fueling our bodies like we're these massive athletes with all these carbs, and we just don't need that much a lot of times for even just the recreational workouts we do. So most of us, if weight's an issue, we can stand to dial back on those carbs, whether it's sweets, white carbs, white breads, but most of us can stand to dial back our white carbs. Keeping the vegetables in, keeping the berries, keeping those types of things in there. Greek yogurt, we're going to get carbs from all those. We just may not need to go as extreme as keto.
Here's it looks like a final question, Molly. Eating healthy during the summer is hard. How can I avoid the temptation? Burgers, margaritas, etc. This is from Mimsy. Mimsy, thank you for your question.
So what's Mimsy doing on the weekends?
Sounds like burgers and margaritas. Jimmy Buffett fan.
Right. So, and the reason I kind of laugh at that, a lot of times summer is actually the easier time for people because it's so hot. They don't want to have these heavier deals. They have salads, but the salad dressing can be a giant culprit. A tip on salad dressing, kind of a side note, is there's a lot of different ways you can make your own, making your balsamic vinaigrettes and stuff, but a store-bought brand that we really like is a local brand called Hanley's. You can find it at Rouse's or other local markets, but we love it because it's nice, clean ingredients like you would make it at home, but it's lower sugar, lower sodium. But eating healthy during the summer, I'm all about smoothies, mixing in as many berries, some greens in there, keeping your sugars low with something like unsweetened almond milk or chocolate almond milk, or like the protein mocha that we whipped up the other day.
Yeah, well, here's my tip. Don't douse your salad with salad dressing. Keep it off to the side. You may have even taught me this, probably in a previous show. Dip your fork in the dressing, then go get your lettuce. Take a bite, and there you go.
I want to go back to Mimsy's question for a minute. I like your dipping your salad,
All
yes,
right.
but Mimsy's having some margaritas and burgers. So, sorry, Mimsy, because we went straight to salads on you. Margaritas. Superior Grill does have an Eat Fit margarita, which is a fantastic one. We also have margarita recipes for Eat Fit margaritas on our app, which is delicious. And then burgers, I would say, if you're doing a bison burger or a really lean beef burger, we're good to go there. But I want to say something we didn't mention is we've taken Eat Fit from fine dining to festivals, and we now have, we had Eat Fit at the French Quarter Fest, for example, and Company Burger was out there with their turkey burger. So a bunless turkey burger that was Eat Fit approved, and they will be out at Satchmo Fest as well. So looking for different options that you can kind of still satisfy that craving without just completely going off the rails.
I want to thank Molly Kimball for the education and information she's provided today and for her work in the Ochsner Health System. To make an appointment with any Ochsner healthcare provider, here's the way to do it. You can register for any of Ochsner's Hello Health seminars here too, at the number on your screen. You can also send us questions by email, hellohealth@ochsner.org. As a reminder, you can rewatch today's presentation or many of our Hello Health programs on our website at ochsner.org. Just type Hello Health in the search area and that'll get you started. Our thanks again to today's guest, Molly Kimball. Thanks to Ochsner and Humana for making our program possible. And our final thanks, as always, is reserved for you, for your support of our program, Hello Health. We'll see you at your next appointment.